The previous segment ended up with um, still shot of marking 3 battles. That is because Norman's gym, this is gym 4 I think, the normal gym is super hard here. You should plan ahead for this slacking because it's a nightmare to deal with. Even Swampert can't get past it reliably or at all actually. I just gave up with Swampert. This thing just did not want to miss its hits, so just a horrible experience. But it taught me that you should plan for it and not with accuracy lowering thing move. I forgot that at one point you find a double team, so I never actually used it with any of my Pokemon. That's really overshooting it. It's a bit sad because I had hopes with Swampert because it just brushed through on the Electric Gym, and that's my top hated gym in Emerald. And I actually tried to pass with Mudkip. What's the second one? Marshtomp. And it because it gets here, and actually it's like this and Seviper are the 2 Pokemon that can get to Norman's gym uh, progressing normally in the game. I mean, Seviper is a one evolution Pokemon. Here it's important that you can choose to fighting between 2 trainers. This trainer gives more XP. In Norman's gym, you also can choose which pathway to get to Norman. You choose the room, the other room you obviously won't because you don't need to progress further in the line of the rooms. And some Pokemon can win in the highest XP rooms, some don't. So it's actually just up to you. Yeah, Blaziken is still here. I had very high hopes for Blaziken until the Psychic Gym. The Psychic Gym just obliterated this Pokemon. At Norman, I gave up on just progressing normally. This was my original attempt, and jumped to the final evolutions. A lot of final evolutions were obvious trash, so I just skipped them, but where I saw some chance, I tried it. And I brought in Kyogre because one of the Poketubers suggested me when I asked. It, so, yeah, you go here. The access to fighting moves with Torch Blaziken is really an advantage. Either way, so to pass Norman's slacking, which is practically the only threat there that can stop your progress, is Dig. On the entire roster, like 2 Pokemon can learn Protect naturally, so you can just buy the TM. And the other method, Kyogre needs ancient power, the Omni Boost. It rises all of your stats by 1 grade. It's Pokemon you can go from 1 to 6. Either way, that's the only thing Kyogre can do. That without that, even Kyogre is not buff enough. It's a really big Pokemon. It's 600 base stat total. It's water type and it brings its own rain with it, and always it never stops its rain unless the opposite team just brings in. The Kyogre brings its own rain, and it only stops if the other opposition brings in another. I never bothered to learn rain dance. I didn't even look up if it's in the game, and I actually mostly did not collect every single possible item because it's just too much backtracking and too much requirements, and it mostly doesn't worth it. And even if you don't look up every hidden item and all that kind of backtracking, you will get way enough elixirs and PP restoring items, so don't see why bother. Although at the beginning of the adventure journey, you probably should buy some super potions or something because, you know, that would be just convenient. I hate this forced double battle. It's very advantageous to have the Aeron, even if you can get some higher level Pokemon otherwise. And I said, as this is a forced double battle, yeah, bring in everything you have. I had an Abra for Flash and Teleport. I had the Aeron. I had a Mario that is learning the water agents, and you probably want a flying Pokemon, though I kept it in the background. I planned to just use Aeron, but it turned out it's nonsense. You can't upgrade Aeron, you just find it like at top level 14 and doesn't really climb too much up there, especially that you are only forced to double battles barely a couple of times. And the problem in this generation still, think they changed in generation 6, that if you have the XP share, you can just give your other Pokemon XP. It actually leeches from the protagonist, and this is minimum battle, so you can't afford that. And I really wanted to do a solo play, minimum battle, not just that, not a team battle, because I'm into solo. Because in the first games, Red, Blue, and probably Yellow, I never played that. You get you can very easily get stuck and forced to just level grind, and that's hilariously boring. Because the ice type gym can decimate you, and the dragons can decimate you, and it's just not fun. But when you think about it from developer perspective, you know, backward engineering, uh, then you notice this. Yes, your starter, so-called starter Pokemon, or whatever you exchange it very soon, can get like all the XP until, you know, the very end, the stupid league, and along that you find all these level 50 legendary super Pokemons. So yeah, just fill in the ranks with them. You get the Firebird, the Thunderbird, and the Icebird, and that's 4 Pokemon. And you bare minimum need 2 HM carrier. So you have your full team. So why bother catching Pokemons? That's my approach to not competitive story mode playing through Pokemon. I will never get to Nuzlocke, I don't care about that. I find it annoying. And the whole team building aspect that's illustrated is just nonsense. The games are way too trolly either way, like any generations. Like in Gen 6 you get the first gym is the Bug Gym, but because one of the gym trainer's Pokemon is a Bug Water type, then nothing works with it. So just fuck that shit. And that's just one prime example. Yeah, I'll show you some place where I struggle. I edited and selected my footage, but I left in some struggling to illustrate some point where this doesn't work, that will work. I thought about just showing the final rounds, but I thought it's kind of dishonest and it shows it makes the impression that I just breeze through the game. No, it's struggling. Later you have more options and more stats under you, and you even start to overlevel the gyms, but it's very late when it starts. That seems still around the same level. This is a slow growth, so XP curve Pokemon, but either way, don't expect much. After like after Norman, I had barely any Pokemon left, like 3 with Blaziken, Flygon, and Kyogre. And at the Psychic Gym, I will only have 2. So I try to alternate them to show that I progress. The main goal, as said in the previous video, to show you every single battle, not just the gym battles. That's not enough if someone wants to replicate it. And in Emerald, you really can't replicate much because it's a very badly designed game. Every new Pokemon Gen 3 Pokemon and whatever you have access without, at least without the version exclusives and trade evolutions, it's just levels up at like level 35, and look at where we are. It's very deep in the game, so and we are not even close to that. It's just nonsense. And the game has Earthquake, yeah, that's a very bad thing. Everything has Earthquake. How the hell should I resist it with something like Blaziken or something? And these stupid logic puzzles. The Generation 1's game had tough logic puzzles. These are whatever. At worst, you solve them at second, third try because they are short. You can see the whole thing. There is no multi-level puzzle. Anyway, to show you here that, of course, random battle occurs and I just transform it. I don't like repels. It just takes away your money, and I was just eh. Either way, I try to, keep my distance. Maybe I will get away, but you can see it's not possible here. And by the way, this Magma hideout is the place where if you didn't do equipment management because, oh, uh, I have more than 20 items in my backpack and all these slots now, not just everything goes into the same place. So you think, okay, I don't need that, I have infinite space, but no. Game Freak, Nintendo, and Pokemon Company just decided no, they will drip feed you. Just like with the other features, one step forward, but they are way behind the standards, not to mention the competition. And all the Pokemon games are the exact same. You just start as a kid, you beat the gym, you beat the aerial team. Later they are not even evil, they are social issues more like. And then you beat the league, and that's it. Never a change. Although when you think about it, if we determine that the main series games are games that are required to be able to catch all Pokemon of that generation, then Pokemon GS is a main series game with its bonus disc. Because Celebi or whatever otherwise is just unattainable. The series, I see they fucked it up, but I don't even have the raw file anymore, so just deal with it. You can follow the progress. In Platinum, I think the post game is locked behind completing the national decks, and the national decks includes that you have to get even. You have to trade. And just fuck that shit. And that is one other issue with the Pokemon series. Most of the games don't tell you that you have to beat the evil team or whatever minor goal. Most of the times your goal is to catch every Pokemon. Is that possible? No. It's Nintendo should be sued for it because your game is not possible to complete. You bought the game, you want to beat the main quest, and you can't do that. Cannot do that. And we should make them responsible for this shit. Especially nowadays when they just abusing the system and copywriting, patenting uh, things that are they didn't made it up. It's a widespread feature in the computer industry. I mean, game industry, computer game industry. So just fuck you. So at this point, even if they would release their shit on PC or something, I doubt I would buy it. I literally tried to upload this content just to get rid of it from my hard drive. So at this point, I decided, I feel that I just stop playing Pokemon. Not that it was ever great, but people need a hobby and try that. Oh, how much I hate Swagger. Yeah. Oh, and most of the Pokemon in Emerald are super slow, so they always get hit again and again. And citrus berry. Imagine how little amount of the other items are available if I'm using a citrus berry here. Actually, it's probably available the ultimate HP restoring berries, but they heal barely any much more, so it's really not that much of a progress there. But those are also daily berries, so fuck you. Here are some telepods. The only annoying one is the final one, which brings you back to the beginning, where when you cannot use the teleport to go back from where you came from, that teleport just brings you into another room, and from that room you get back to the entrance to. It just makes you scratch your head. Why was this design decision made? It's actually pretty much my complaint for the gyms too. You go through all those logic puzzles, you beat what you want or have to, and then you get to the gym leader and use the teleporter, and the teleporter at the entrance is not activated. Why not? What harm would it be? Of course I want to go out before the boss fight to get healed. Mostly because, the moves use the PPs, so you have only X amount of charges like in some AD&D crap, pre-memorized spells, and you just want to go out to recharge those because some of these gyms are just the worst. Fortunately, Emerald, I don't think I got flinched, but I always get confused, and a bunch of Pokemon rely on evasiveness. Fuck that. Here, you saw the submarine's shadow just went out of screen, so if you don't battle this guy, then it's the progress is halted. Now, when you get to the water part of the game, it's actually pretty straightforward. From then on, the backtracking barely exists, and you already have the flyer, the Pokemon to fly around the map, so it's barely any fight you have to do. So I just showed you that, yeah, I thought I just have to go back. It's safer that way. The other is, if I remember correctly, it's easier trainer. The funny thing is, I play on 4 times speed, and when I have to force myself through a gym, I push it up to 20. Yes, 20 times speed. Because all this text and all that. Either way, I bump into textures because the speed ups sometimes.